The zombie game genre has been beaten to death, resurrected, and beaten to death again more times than I can count. We've seen countless games release each and every year, so when Killing Floor 3 was announced, I'll admit I was a bit skeptical. Did we really need another horde shooter in 2025? Thankfully, I've had the chance to dive into Killing Floor 3 to find an answer to that question. I genuinely admire Tripwire Interactive for its boldness in dedicating such effort to a game like this in today's gaming landscape. Killing Floor 3 stands out as more than just your typical zombie killing experience. It is quite challenging and demands strategic thinking from players. Let's discuss what makes Killing Floor 3 special: the gameplay. While many zombie games often have the ability to keep players engaged, gunplay is the one area that must be stellar for long-term retention. The gunplay in this game is truly impressive, especially when compared to games that excel in this category like Destiny 2 and Cyberpunk 2077. The weapons feel weighty and impactful, and it all synchronizes well with the Meat 2 system, which I will dive into later. The Disciple, for instance, is a powerful hand cannon that can eliminate basic Zeds with a single headshot using its primary fire. However, its alternate fire mode functions as a shotgun, dealing a significant amount of damage. You can upgrade the alternate fire to include cold damage, which has been a game changer for me. Additionally, the audio design deserves special recognition. Each weapon has its distinct sound, and there are loads of them. From the medic's laser gun to the rapid fire of the commando's light machine gun, the variety of audio adds depth to the gameplay. This is not Call of Duty Zombies. The Killing Floor series demands strategic thinking, even more so for this third entry. Even on normal difficulty, you can't simply charge in like you own the place. It's essential to learn the maps, understand the enemies, and work together with your team. If you fail to do so, you won't last very long. There are different abilities and mechanics in place to help you navigate the map as fast as possible. One of these is the knife, serving not only as a last resort but also as a valuable movement tool to help you zoom across the map. Timing your gadget ultimates, being frugal with your dodge, the in-game currency, and exploiting enemy weaknesses are imperative for surviving in Killing Floor 3. Once you've understood and mastered the gameplay and mechanics at your disposal, Killing Floor 3 has a plethora of RPG mechanics to offer. Each of the 6 available classes feels incredibly unique, not because of their loadouts, but because of their skill trees and how they approach combat. At first, I was asking myself why anyone would want a PvE hero zombie horde shooter, but here's the thing: any specialist can wear any weapon. Tripwire Interactive implemented numerous changes based on feedback from previous playtests. Players didn't want to be locked into using a specific set of weapons for each specialist, so they gave us everything. While you might wonder if anything differentiates these specialists, Killing Floor 3 offers countless options with skill trees for each. Your specialist might feel different than your friends, even though you're using the same one. In addition, the progression system for each specialist is excellent. Every 2 levels, up to level 30, you get to choose between multiple upgrades, and they're all incredibly useful. This is crucial for replayability, as it gives you an incentive to rank up each of your specialists to customize them as much as possible. Due to the number of options you get in the skill trees, it also doesn't feel as restrictive as I assumed it would, coming from the absolute freedom of Killing Floor 2. Beyond skill trees, each of the specialists is unique in weapons and abilities too. Let's start with Foster, the commando. He's far from basic. His grenades give him solid crowd control, and his ability to mark targets for teammates makes him a solid choice for newbies. Foster's auto-targeting drone handles cleanup duty so you can focus on bigger threats. Another specialist, Devlin the Firebug, uses flames to control crowds and deal heavy damage, but you need to be careful not to block your team with fire. Imran the Engineer focuses on defense, activating turrets and barricades with his multi-tool to hold important spots. Next, Luna the Sharpshooter is best in the hands of players who aim well, turning headshots into quick kills, especially on tougher enemies. Nakata the Ninja sticks to close-range combat, using katanas and shurikens to move quickly between targets. Finally, Obi the Medic, my specialist of choice, keeps the squad alive with his healing tech and support tools like the Sanctum, which works like a protective zone similar to Destiny 2's Well of Radiance. As always, the medic must stay alert and ensure their teammates aren't dying. Killing Floor 3 runs on Unreal Engine 5, and it shows. This is a pretty good looking game when cranked up to maximum settings, with dynamic lighting effects that give the game a cinematic look. However, the real star is the next generation Meat 2 system, Massive Evisceration and Trauma, which delivers incredibly detailed dismemberment, exploding limbs, and lasting visual damage from all of the elements. This makes sure that no two kills look the same, and it's Tripwire Interactive's way of making the game feel dynamic. Performance has actually been rock solid for both my co-op partner and me, even during those chaotic moments where there are over a dozen Zeds on screen exploding with their limbs rocketing around like a lost homing missile. The game maintains its frame rate, which is crucial when split-second reactions can determine survival. Additionally, the audio design deserves equal praise. The Doom Light soundtrack knows exactly when to amp up the metal and when to pull back into industrial ambience. It's the kind of music that gets your blood pumping without overwhelming the important audio cues you need to survive. However, despite my praise, Killing Floor 3 isn't perfect, and its flaws become even more obvious the longer you play. By far, the content variety is my biggest concern. There are only 3 bosses to start: the Impaler, Chimera, and Queen Crawler, and with this, runs start feeling predictable after the initial learning curve. As the game currently stands, I only have a 1 in 3 chance of being surprised at Wave 6 of a match. Each boss requires different strategies, which is great, but I found myself craving more variety in these climactic encounters. The 8 maps are well designed and visually distinct, yet the lack of true randomization means optimal strategies become routine. I'm always going to grab the Disciple as early as possible. It is powerful and saves me a ton of dosh that I would be wasting on my primary ammo. Once you've figured out the best holding positions and spawn patterns, matches can feel more mechanical than thrilling. This is where games like Left 4 Dead 2 spoiled us. The AI director kept every run feeling fresh. The absence of a proper story mode also feels like a missed opportunity. I understand that this is normal for the Killing Floor franchise, but it would have been nice to have, considering this game takes itself far more seriously than its predecessors. Previous Killing Floor entries had a quirky, whimsical charm in their presentation. Killing Floor 3 feels more sterile by comparison, and the Horzine lore isn't all that interesting for it to be the only thing that the game focuses on. Moreover, throughout my time with the game, I encountered one glaring quality of life issue that I feel must be addressed sooner rather than later. My main and only glaring quality of life concern is that I can't see my teammates' health bars unless I'm looking directly at them. The health bars should always be displayed on the side of the screen. This seems like a major oversight, especially considering that there is a dedicated medic specialist, Obi, whose primary role is to heal his teammates. While playing as Obi, I frequently found myself needing to check my teammates' health during fights, which distracted me from the action. Fortunately, Tripwire is a reasonable publisher and is offering a fair price for their new Horde shooter. At $40, Killing Floor 3 is an easy choice for gamers. However, there are additional costs to consider. The Battle Pass model has become standard in modern live service games since Fortnite popularized it, so I won't criticize Tripwire for adopting it. We all need to make some extra dosh. That said, the Season Pass is somewhat disappointing. After reviewing the first Season Pass, I found the offerings to be quite bland. It lacks the whimsical and quirky gear featured in the previous game. Instead, the aesthetic in Killing Floor 3 feels sterile and cold. I miss the fun and unique style that made the last entry so enjoyable to look at. Killing Floor 3 is an incredible amount of fun to play with your friends. Is it perfect? No. The content variety issues in weak Season Pass hold it back from true greatness. However, the game has a great foundation, and if Tripwire commits to supporting the game with regular content updates, new bosses, maps, and seasonal events, this could easily become the definitive zombie co-op experience for years to come. The game demands teamwork, rewards skill, and delivers a ton of fun at $39.99. It's priced fairly for what you get, and the mechanical depth of the game brings a ton of replayability. It's been a while since the legendary Killing Floor 2 dropped, and it doesn't feel like Tripwire has skipped a beat. Killing Floor 3 is the best zombie shooter since Left 4 Dead 2, and I really mean that. While it does suffer from limited randomization, an uninspiring Season Pass, and minimal story elements, the core experience is strong enough to overcome these shortcomings. Best of luck on your next zombie hunt, and be sure not to forget your knife, gun, and dosh. You'll be needing it. Final Weapon is giving Killing Floor 3 a 4 out of 5 stars. Tripwire Interactive provided a Steam copy of Killing Floor 3 for review purposes.